What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another awesome tips and tricks video from Byerly Studios. Now, this is an excerpt clip or maybe a highlight clip from the full-length content where we were working on an Austin Powers 3D tumbler Mojo canister. Yes, it's a mouthful, and I love how this thing has turned out so far. Now, if you haven't had the opportunity to check out that playlist, make sure you do so. I'll link at the end of this video. Now, in this video, we are already in the process of creating more so of a housing that's going to go on the back of the canister, that's going to kind of hold some LEDs, as well as just kind of bring the canister level of difficulty up quite a bit. Now, we've already made that housing out of Sculpting original, and we've already baked it. But what I want to do is I want to create like a nice tight fit, and to do that we're going to use some DOS Airdry Clay to blend this into the base. Now, of course, we are working with a curved tumbler here, and we are working with DOS Airdry Clay to kind of bridge the gap between the kind of straight angled Sculpting original that's already baked here, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of cut the excesses away there and blend that down. I really do like projects like this. They really do challenge me artistically, and I'm able to kind of bridge the gap and introduce a lot of different mediums. Not so mediums just like clay and acrylics, like they're two completely different things, but these are both clay items here. I'm using a Sculpting original as the main plates of the actual housing, and then we're using the DOS Airdry Clay to kind of blend into the curvature of the cup there. So any kind of imperfections along that lower lip or lower base there is going to kind of remove and fix that. Now, there are a few other processes that we go through during this process of smoothing the exterior of this housing here, and I'm not getting to that in this tips and tricks video. This is specifically about the DOS Airdry Clay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just using the silicone tip tool just to kind of generally blend that inward a little bit. Now, I do have quite a bit of that clay on the interior of the box because I had built up such a large amount when I pressured that into place. And I will remedy that here shortly when I remove the item from the actual plastic wrap. Just be aware that I'm just kind of using this a little bit here and there. I'm going to go ahead and use a lot of water on the end of my silicone tip tool. You can kind of see me dipping it into my my painting cleaning brush pot there, and I'm just using that to kind of blend in the edges a little bit. Now, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I'm not chasing perfection here in this part of the project. Now, if I wanted to continuously chase this, I could go ahead and let it dry, and then I could just apply a watered down version of the DOS Airdry Clay, like a slush, and I could really start to fine tune the overall flatness of those plates into the clay that I've already attached here. You can kind of see I do go back between like carving a little bit away and adding a little bit more, smoothing a little bit with my finger. And you can kind of see that there is a distinction between the very top plate and the sides there. And that's completely fine. I'm going to remedy that later on in the process. So just be aware that this isn't like that intensive a video here. It's just supposed to be very nice, light, and fun, and just a little bit of instructional as far as just blending different types of clays together. There is another tips and tricks video here I'm going to release right after this one almost, and we will be using liquid clay as a final form of this box here. So we're able to introduce 3 different types of clay, oven, air, and liquid into one absolute awesome project. Now, it's just like a little piece of the project overall, and if you want to see this portion of the project in its entirety, make sure you check out the video at the end. I will link to the video where we are creating the entire box, one and all. You can kind of see there is the lip of the excess there. Now, this is already dried overnight, and you can still see that interior part where it wasn't exposed to air is still very damp, very wet, but it is starting to set up a little bit. Now, you'll notice that I'm going to here in a moment use my X-Acto knife. I'm going to kind of trim a little bit of that way. It's not a necessity, and it actually does add a little bit of strength to it by leaving that in there. But I'm going to go ahead and just for cleanliness, I'm going to go ahead and use my X-Acto knife, and I'm going to go ahead and trim a little bit that way. As you can see, it's a little bit more chalky on the exterior where it was making contact with the air, and then this part it's pretty smooth. I'm having to do multiple passes just so I can get a nice clean straight edge and without tearing. You saw it tore a little bit there, just due to the fact that it's a little bit set up already, and that's completely okay. But as you can see, it does allow us to get a nice form fit to the actual sculpture or the curvature of the tumbler. And this sculpture is very simple overall. Now, in the next video where we introduce the liquid clay, it will really blend this in, and you'll kind of see those plate seams disappear. And then as we go into the painting process in the full-length content, you'll really see it completely finish out. Absolute awesome work here, you guys. I really do hope y'all like this tips and tricks video, and don't be afraid to introduce different types of clay in their own order on projects. Later, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe.